Hello.
Okay. Hi, sir.
Hi,
Good
Dex.
evening.
How are you?
I'm
Good
good,
evening.
thank
How
you.
are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir? Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. By the way, this is A. Bhattacharya. Today, we are going to discuss one topic at first,
Okay.
and after that, we shall discuss, like one or two papers of that topic, like set of questions on that.
Okay.
So we are going to discuss quadratic equations. So are you familiar
Okay.
with quadratic equations?
Yeah, I am. I've studied it before
No?
in school.
Okay, great. So, if I ask you to give one example of quadratic, so can you give me one example?
Yeah, sure. I remember the formula for it. I mean, not the formula, but what the equation looks like. The example, I can give you an example, but it won't be really,
Yes, yes.
calculated. So
Okay.
the equation would be ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0.
Okay. So let me write this. So we
Yeah,
can consider ax square plus bx plus c equals 0, which you said
yeah,
true,
yeah.
and then
And then we would have to solve it out by finding a common uh common
so
between. Yeah, so we would get two
yes.
numbers to get b, and then those two numbers would have to multiply each other to get c, and then we can form
Okay,
the
great.
equation.
Very good. Yes. But first, what we have to keep in mind when we are going to write any quadratic, so here the leading coefficient a shouldn't be equal to 0.
Yeah.
That would be the first thing we have to keep in mind.
Okay.
And now, if we see that, like as you mentioned, when we are going to solve any quadratic, for example, like once we have x square minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. So
Yeah.
now can you explain for this particular example how are we supposed to do this?
Okay, so we would have to find two numbers that would give us -5 when their difference. So we would also have to get two numbers which would multiply and give us 6. So it does not let me go to the whiteboard. I'm clicking on
Yes.
it. Yeah, there. Okay. So we would have to go with -3 and -2 as they give us,
Okay.
when they add each other, they give us -5. And when they multiply with each other, minus into minus gives us positive. So +6. And then we would have to,
Yes. Perfect.
yeah. So then we would get x
So
in
here,
brackets x. Yeah.
okay. Yes.
Yeah. So minus 3x.
Yes. Just a sec.
Yeah, sure.
Just yes. So here, first, as you mentioned, the coefficient of x square is 1. So 1 times 6. So we have to find two factors of 6 so that their sum would be 5. So you
Yeah.
rightly said. So what we can
Yeah.
do, x square minus 3x minus 2x plus 6, this is going to be 0. And
Yeah.
here, from the first two, we can factor out x, and from the last two, we can also factor out. So this would be x minus 3 times x minus 2. So what are the values of x?
So the values of x can be 3 or 2.
Perfect. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So the values of x would be 3 of 2.
Or 2. Yeah.
So when you solve any quadratics, basically, there would be two roots or two values or two solutions. It's not necessary that they would be equal or unequal. It can be equal or it may not also be equal. Okay. So there are two values. One would be x is equals to 3. Other would be x equals to 2.
Yeah.
Okay, Daksh, it's clear now?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, I've understood the concept.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Daksh? Hello? Okay,
Yeah.
I hope now it's clear. Okay, so there are two values. When we are going to solve any quadratics, there are values like one would be 3, other one would be 2. So solving quadratic will give us two values. They might be equal, they might be unequal as well. Okay, so let's solve one more question. Suppose it is given 2x square. Okay, so 2x square, let's say this would be 4x plus 2 equals 0. So let's find out the values of x, or let's solve for
I'll
x.
just get a pencil. So should I solve this question? And then I'll tell you the answer. Okay.
Yes.
Will we do it here, or should I do it?
Yes.
Like on a book or something, on a paper.
If you have pen and paper with you, so you can do it over there, and you can tell me the answer.
Not yet.
So any answers you have got?
I'm not being able to find one for 2. A multiple for 2.
Okay, so first, can you tell me, like, if we just see it, like, what would be the common factor over here? Can we have one of the common factor? Yes. So it would be x square minus 2x plus
Yeah.
1 if we try to factor it out, right? So can we divide both sides by 2?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. So then it gives us x squared
So
minus 2x
so what would
plus
be
1 equals 0, which would give us
yeah.
x squared minus x minus x plus 1, so 0. So then our common factor would be
Okay.
x outside. So x can be either 1. So x can be 1, as it gives us x minus 1 in brackets, and then
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. So it means like here we are getting two
Yeah,
values
sorry.
which are equal. Okay, so equal roots. So any quadratic always have two solutions or two values. So here
Yeah.
we have got equal values. Okay.
Yeah.
So both equal to 1. Now thing is that like when we are not able to find two factors, because this method is called middle term splitting. Middle term splitting, sometimes
Yeah.
it's not possible. Like when we have any quadratic equation. So how to solve those type of quadratic equation? Are you familiar with quadratic formula?
Quadratic formula, not really. I think I've forgotten it. But maybe if you tell me a bit of it, I might be able to remember what it was about.
Yes, definitely. So quadratic formula helps us to find any kind of quadratic equation. It doesn't matter whether we are going to find factors so that we can do middle term splitting or not. So here minus b plus or minus b square minus 4ac
Okay.
over 2a. So it means there are two values of x. One would be plus,
Yeah.
other one would be minus.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you can take a note. This would be also useful.
Okay, I've taken a note.
Okay, so apart from this, there is also null factor law.
Null
Are
factor
you
of...
familiar with this?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, so actually we have used in the last question, when we have two factors,
Yeah.
product of AB, it's 0. So null factor law says either A would be 0
Okay.
or B would be 0. Or both would be equal
Okay.
to 0.
Write this down. Okay, I've written it down.
Okay, so now we have to solve for, let's say we need to solve for x. Here it is x plus 5 over 4 equals to 9 minus x over x. So let's solve for x.
Okay. I've got the equation. Should I solve it as well? And then I'll tell you the answer.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
So x can be either 3 or minus 12.
Okay. So what we have to do here, we can just cross multiply. So we'll be getting this one.
Yeah. That's what I did. Yeah.
And after that, we have to bring them to one side. So this would be, and after that, what we need to do?
We have to find.
Yeah.
We have to find two numbers that when they add each other or subtract each other, we get 9. And when we multiply those two numbers, we get minus 36. So the two numbers I got was plus 12 and minus 3.
Yes. Okay, great. So again, you can see that null factor laws that will give us x minus 3 would be 0, where x would be equal to 3, and x plus 12 would be equal to 0, where x would be negative 12. Okay. So let's come to one more question.
Sure.
It's 21x squared equals to 62x plus 3. So let's solve for x.
Okay. So 21x squared. Okay, so the equation I've got is 7x squared minus 31x minus 1 equals to 0. And then...
Okay. Yes, then?
Then I'm checking. I'm seeing what can go with 31.
Okay.
I'm confused a little bit here with what to do next because of the numbers.
Okay. So the same approach here. If we multiply 21, have you multiplied this too? 21 and negative 3?
Multiplied it? No, I didn't multiply it.
21?
Oh yeah, I got that.
Okay, because first we have to, and then we have to find two factors so that their sum would be negative 60.
Okay, fine.
So what are the two factors?
The two factors would be minus 63, plus 1.
Very good. Yes, it is. So let's write in this way.
Yeah.
Minus 63x plus x. 1x means
Yeah.
simply x. Then let's factorize. Now you will be able to solve.
Yeah, so then we get 21x outside. X in a bracket, and then minus
Okay.
3 in brackets plus 1 brackets x minus 3. So 21x plus 1
Yes,
in
true.
brackets and x minus 3. So x can be either 1 over 21 or 3.
Okay. So let's not skip any step, because sometimes due to this we might make calculation
Okay.
error. So here if we just move plus 1 to other side, it would be 21x would be equal to negative
Yeah.
1 and x would be equal to 3.
Yeah.
So the value of x is negative 1 over
Yeah.
21 and here
Okay.
it is 3.
Okay. I've understood it. Yeah.
Okay. So one more method, especially we have to learn. This is called completing square method. Are you familiar with completing square
No,
method?
I'm not.
Okay. So we'll discuss
Okay.
that. Okay. Before going to completing square method, can you find or can we apply quadratic formula here? 2x square minus 5x plus 7 equals to 0. So let's solve by using quadratic
Okay.
formula.
So using the quadratic formula, we would get, so solving for x minus 5. I'll just use a calculator for this.
Yes.
Oh, my calculator is upstairs. So what I've got till now is x is equal to minus 5 plus root minus 31 is over 4. Am I on the right path?
I'm just trying to write the quadratic formula here so that quite easily you can
Yeah.
use. So here it would be
Negative b.
If we compare the values over here, a is 2, b is negative 5 and c is equal to
Yeah.
7. So x would be negative b means negative of negative 5, that would be 5.
Yeah.
25, 4 into 2 into 7, twice of 2.
Yeah.
So the values of x would be 5 plus or minus
root. Yeah.
here what we are getting. Let's make it negative 7 instead of plus 7. Let's make it negative 7.
Okay.
So here it would be I believe this would be 56 plus 5 61 81.
Yeah.
This. So what are the values of x?
So the values of x would be then, it can be plus 9. So it can be 7 over 2.
5 plus 9 over
Yeah,
4.
which gives us 7 over 2 simplified.
Or it can be.
Yeah. Or that. Yeah.
Yes. So you rightly said this would be 7 over
This would
2
be
and
minus.
this would be
Yeah.
negative 1. Okay. So that's how we can use quadratic formula. But apart from this, there would be one more method we need to know, which is completing square method.
Okay.
So for completing square method, first of all, what we have, let me give one example, that would be, I believe. First, we have to check what would be the coefficient of x square. Here it is, coefficient of x square is 1.
Yeah.
If we consider this coefficient as, let's say like 3x square plus 2x plus 1. So from the first two, we have to, factor out, or we have to make the coefficient of x square as 1. So how can I do this? We can write like this. Just factoring out 3 from the first two to make the coefficient of x square 1.
Okay.
After that, what we have to remember, a plus b whole square. Are you familiar with this identity?
Yeah.
If the coefficient of x is plus, then we are supposed to use this. If the coefficient of x is minus, then we are supposed to use this.
Okay.
So this would be x square plus 2x times 1/3. This would be 1/3 whole square minus 1/3 whole square minus 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Why we have added 1/3 whole square? Because if you see that, if you compare with 2ab, a is x, b is 1/3. That's why we do require plus b square, and to make an adjustment we have to subtract minus b square.
Yeah.
So the first three terms, x square plus 2 times x times 1/3 plus 1/3 square, and then if we just try to write 3 times 1/3 square, because it's not required, so that's why we just kept it outside of the bracket. So it would be 3 times of this. So it would become, and this would become, if you see that 3 times 1 over 9, this is minus 1/3 minus 2. Here it is equal to 0.
Yeah.
It was the equation. So in every step we have to write it is equal to 0.
Okay.
After that it would become 7 over 3.
Okay.
If we divide both sides by 3,
Yeah.
it would be 7 over 9. Check it once if it is clear or not.
Yeah. It's
From the very first step you can check.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So if it is fine, then we can move to, now let's find, we can move to find the value of x. Can you find the value of x?
Yeah, sure. So it would be
Okay, so any value of x you have got?
uh. So I think I've formed the equation. So what I did first was
Okay, it's not required.
okay. So
If you try to expand, what will happen? You will be moving to the first, like where we have simplified. So simply what we have to do, if we have x square equals to a square, or let's say x square equals to 3. So how can we find the value of x? Just, doing the square
yeah.
roots. So here we have to do the same thing. Can you do that? So let's find out now.
So now it will be. So what would root 7 over 9 give us?
Okay, so here it would be negative 1/3, and this would be, can be written as root 7, and root 9 is 3 simply.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's the answer.
Okay.
Okay, so we are moving to the next one.
Okay.
I will give you one more question so that you can practice.
Okay, sure.
Now we need to find or solve for x using completing square method. Let's solve for x.
Okay, so x squared minus 4x. So can I just see what you had done before and then...
Yes, definitely.
I think I would need help once more to see how to do it, because I'm getting a little confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So first, if we move to the grouping of these two, first two terms. Okay.
Yeah.
So first we have to decide whether the coefficient of x square is 1 or more than 1 apart from 1. So is it 1 coefficient of x square?
Yeah.
Okay. So when it is 1, we need not to factor out like this. Here, earlier it was 3,
Yeah.
so we had to factorize.
Okay.
So here it would be simply like this. Now question is, now we have to check the coefficient of x.
Yeah.
What would be the coefficient of x?
Coefficient of x here would still be 1, right?
Coefficient of x is negative 4.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Negative 4.
It's negative.
Okay.
So which formula we are going to use? A plus b whole square or a minus b whole square?
A minus b whole square.
True. So x square. So if we try to break it in 2ab forms, 2 times x times 2. So what would be the value of b here, Daksh?
The value of b would be minus 4.
Just try to compare with this. So here if we just try to compare 2ab.
Yeah.
So what would be the value of b?
So the value of b would be 2 then.
Okay. So we have to add 2 square to make it a square minus 2ab plus b square, right?
Yeah.
So we have to subtract 2 square because 2 square, this is an extra term. To make an adjustment, we have to subtract.
Yeah.
Plus 6 equals to 0.
Okay.
So if we group this one, x square minus 2x 2 plus 2 square, and this would be 6 minus 2 square.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we group the first three, so what we are going to get? Wouldn't it be x minus 2 whole square?
Yeah.
And what about 6 minus 2 square?
6 minus 2 squared would be 6 minus 4. So 2.
So this would be 2.
Yeah.
Great. So this is going to be, this would be 2. So if we move it to other side, this would be minus 2.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So once we get this, now how can you solve for x?
So then we would have to do x squared. We would use a square minus b square whole square. So a square plus 4 because 2 squared minus
First, if we try to do square root of that is x minus 2.
yeah.
This would be square root of minus. So square root of any negative number, it's possible or not?
Square root of any negative number. Yeah, it is, but you have to use negative number.
Square root of any negative number, it's not possible.
Okay.
Right? So no real solution.
Okay.
So here we have to take a note. Square root of any negative real would be imaginary. So that's why it is not possible.
Okay.
So no solution.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try one more question. X square plus 2x minus 2 equals 0. So let's solve for x.
Okay. So x squared. Um.
Yes.
So I've got the thing. I think I'm right. So I got x squared plus 2 into x into 1 plus 1 squared minus 1 squared in brackets and then minus 2 equals to 0. Is that correct?
Okay. So first of all, here, again we have to check at first whether the coefficient of x square is 1 or not.
Yeah.
If it is 1, then we can simply write x square plus 2 times 1x. So here, what would be the value of b?
It would be 1.
So we need to add 1 square and subtract 1 square,
Yeah.
right? So using this 3, the first 3, what would be the answer? Or what would be the expression?
It would be x squared plus 2x plus 1.
Which would be equal to x plus 1 whole square, right?
Yeah.
And this is 1 square means 1 minus 2.
Yeah,
that
minus
is
3. Yeah. So 3.
So x plus or minus root 3.
Okay.
X should be 1 plus root 3 and should be 1 minus root 3. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I've understood it now. Thank you.
So this method is called completing square method. Now we are moving to question. We'll see, we'll solve a few questions from this paper.
Okay.
So let's solve the first one.
Yeah. The first one would be 5.
Here the first one, how can we find it out?
Oh, we have to use...
We can use...
Okay.
No, any method will be fine. Any method will be fine.
Okay.
Here you can see that all solution must be in the simplest radical form, that is this one. Okay, simplest radical form they have said, like we have to simplify. Now question is, x should be equal to 5 or x should be equal to minus 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so how will we get this? We have to find square root of that 25.
Yeah.
Which would imply x should equal to 5 and x should be equal to minus 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try the second one.
Okay. So x squared. So this question, the answer for x would be I'll just quickly check my answer.
Yes.
I don't think I'm getting the right answer. So we would have to break it into brackets. So first we simplify it.
Okay. Okay.
So we would get x squared minus 2x is equal to 0. And then
Okay, so okay. Yes. Then
so then we would have to break it into two brackets. Yeah, that's
But what I believe, can't we apply null factor law here?
null factor.
Null factor law
Yeah.
means here x would be equal to 0 and here x minus 2 equals to 0,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So one of the value of x would be 0, other value would be 2.
Okay.
So that's the solution.
Okay. And then the next one. So C.
Yes, it's x square minus 16 equals 0.
So here.
Yes.
So here I think I'm doing the same mistake, but we.
Daksh, are you familiar with this identity a square minus b square
Yeah.
that is going to be a plus b times a minus b?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. So
Okay.
yeah, then it would be x minus 4,
So
and in brackets then x plus 4, right?
perfect. So what
Yeah.
are the values of x then?
It can either be 4 or minus 4.
Yes. So if we apply null factor law, so x minus 4 has to be 0, which would give us x equals to 4.
Yeah.
If we apply null factor law here, x should be equal to minus 4. True.
Yeah. Okay.
What about this, the next one?
The next one, we could use null factor again. So x plus 1 equals 0.
Yes.
We would get x is equal to minus 1. And for the other one, we would get x is equal to 3.
Yes, true. What about the next question?
The next question, we could use null factor for x plus 4.
Okay.
For so using null factor for x plus 4, we would get x is equal to minus 4. That would be the first option. But for the other one,
Okay.
would we have to
Yes.
expand the brackets, or could we use null factor for x minus 2 and then?
First of all, null factor law we can apply here. First, what we have to decide, 5 can't be equal to 0. So
Yeah.
we can divide both sides by 5.
Okay.
So that these two factors would be equal to 0.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the factor would be minus 4.
And the other?
What about the other one?
Equal to 2. So minus 4 or 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's try the next question.
So as we can see, there's a negative sign there, which would also mean negative 1. So we could divide both sides, which would give us 0.
Yeah.
And then x could be either minus 1 or minus 6.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. So that's it for today, Daksh.
Okay.
And as moderator informed, we have
Yeah.
sent you the complete course details on your email ID.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we shall get back to you after sending feedback.
Okay.
Okay. Hope you enjoyed this
Yeah,
session.
thank you so much.
Thanks
Have
a
a
lot.
good day.
Bye.
Bye.